Many Catholics who are gay feel torn between the two parts of themselves, the religious side and their sexuality, and they feel that the two worlds are irreconcilable. However, there are many, including myself, who've been able to find a way. Usually this is done through different paths, known as Side A and Side B. Though each path has its pros and cons, neither are easy. However, it is found by everyone to be at least worth a try. So the first step is, you have to ask yourself, why do you want to be Catholic or even Christian? Is it because of family? Is it because of fear that you're going to go to hell? If so, it's going to be a lot harder to be able to push on either path because you haven't found the reason for your own belief. You're believing for the purpose of others. So the reason that I stay in is because I truly believe in the faith. Yes, I very much do disagree with the hierarchy and the magisterium on certain aspects of church teaching. However, there are very few Catholics who are always 100% behind full teaching, which is why the faith is a life journey. However, what I have found is a deep love and relationship with God. It's struggling, it's confusing, I don't have all the answers, but I have found that it's personally worth it for me because I am being truly who I am, fully, in all senses of mentally, physically, spiritually. The teachings have brought me what I consider true life. So for those of us who decide to stay in the faith, there are pretty much two options. One is known as Side B Christians. These are Christians that pretty much believe that homosexuality, the acting upon it, the sexual aspects pretty much, is a sin. And they hold to marriage only being between a man and a woman, what is also known as traditional teaching. And of course, I disagree with the phrasing of that. However, one thing that is beneficial to that is they have the support of the church, and it is part of official church teaching that one should remain celibate throughout life and focus on forming platonic relationships in order to fulfill those intimate needs of bonding, relationship, and community. Though they are not big in number, there is an online community for those of you who do decide to choose this path to be able to bond with others and, of course, reach out to other people. I'm not going to tell you it's an easy path, and it's not one that I personally agree with, but it is an option and it allows you to be able to continue that. The main important thing is making sure that you deepen and strengthen your relationship with God and doing what you believe He's leading you to do. Then you have Side A Christians like myself who believe in fully affirming our orientation in a romantic sense, in relationships, and in our sexuality. Of course, within the monogamous frameworks that are held upon heterosexuals, we just don't believe that sex is only for procreation and unity together. It's all about, we have a different understanding of what it is to be life-giving. Benefits of following this path is we tend to have a healthier mentality of ourselves, and we have to learn to rely on God's grace because we don't have the endorsement of the church and those who are more actively practicing Christians. But what we have found is a better understanding of grace and mercy and love of God to be able to walk this scary path. It takes time, it's a day-by-day struggle, but it's one that I find very fulfilling. Regardless of whatever path that you feel God is leading you down, we are all called to the same lifestyle, a lifestyle of prayer, study, loving others, loving God, and trying to become a saint, to be who we truly are and the better and truer versions of ourselves. This is an aspect that we have in common with all fellow believers, and even though we disagree, there have been disagreements in our faith, which is why we have several denominations within the Christian faith. In the end, it comes down to this. We are called to love God, first and foremost, and love others, and work out our salvation in fear and trembling, and most of all, follow what we believe God is leading us to do. The Catholic Church is very clear that we are to follow our conscience, hence the supremacy of conscience. And yes, of course, you're supposed to study and understand the teaching, but know that sometimes the church is wrong. For me, one thing would be that if the church called me to be a good slave, and told me not to run away, I would disagree with that. And that was teaching back in the past, and it changed now. And I do believe teaching will change on homosexuality in the future. But for me, and my calling right now is to just be a good, loving human being to others and serve God through justice, mercy, and peace. In the end, remember, you are Imago Dei. You are beautifully and wonderfully made. Yes, it's confusing, and yes, things are not as clear and simple as we would like them to be. Nothing has ever been throughout history. But what we do have is faith. Faith that God loves us, that He wants the best for us. And then when we call upon Him to walk with Him and go with Him through this whole journey of life, that He will be there with us and work with us. He's not going to do everything for us because He wants our cooperation. That's the beautiful relationship that He desires for all of us. So I would say, be patient. You won't get the answers immediately, and sometimes things will change the more that you learn. So take each day at a time, enjoy the moment that God gives you, and continue pushing forward. Just know that you're not alone. You have God, you have the heavenly family, and you have the church. Even if it disagrees with you, there are still many people who love you in the church. If you made it this far, I want to say I hope this video helped and that it brought thoughts to you and helped you be able to make further decision. Whatever you do choose, I hope that you are blessed and that God continues to grow with you, in you, and through you. Until then, be blessed.